Hello and welcome again back to Youth Education Services. Again, my name's Sarah Benno and today's topic we're going to talk about is respect. Okay, this is a huge topic and I'm only going to cover it in a very brief outline of respect. It is most probably the core fundamental behaviour or value that we say that children and students are missing today. I'm going to hit fairly hard on this one, and I'm going to first ask you to have a bit of a look at what you think respect looks like. So it'll vary in how everybody was brought up, but what are your core values? What are you talking about when you say you want respect, or your child doesn't have respect for you, or you think you should be treated with respect? So by that I'm saying, well, how is it that your children actually talk to you? What are they saying to you? Do they use manners? Do they listen to you? Do they do what they're told to do? Now, I can't tell you how often I see this, more so with young children and parents, where a child actually asks them to do something and that child actively engages in ignoring them, or worse, turns around and tells the parent, no, I don't want to, or just no, and goes on. That says to me that that poor parent has got no respect from her child. Now, I'm not saying that respect has to be belted in a kid. Far from it. I'm saying the absolute reverse. I don't think you ever need to hit a child, but I do believe that a child needs to have respect for its parents, for elders, and for its teachers. Most importantly, I need you to understand that you're the parent. It is not the teacher's fault. It is not the other adult's fault. It is your fault. You're the parent. You're the core person that instills that core behaviour. If that child does not have respect, you've developed that. What we need to do is to help you to understand how you can get your power back and how you can demand and expect that respect. After all, you're the parent. If you have a problem with that, if you don't think you deserve respect, then I think you actually need to sit back and ask, how comfortable are you being a parent? And do you honestly have no problem with the way in which your children speak to you? I know I do. I have a lot of problem with how some of the children in the classrooms today talk to me, and how they think that it's okay to swear at a teacher, how they think it's okay to give lip, how they think it's okay to have attitude. And I, as a teacher, will wear that down in my classroom, and I can get the respect because I demand the respect and I will settle for nothing less. Once I've worked that out with the student, we're in a much happier place. And you know what? They then become my friends because they crave it. They literally crave having that underlying principle. So right now, this is the time to take your power back. Whew, okay. That is a really hard one to digest, and I hope that I've got everybody on board. The first thing I'm going to say to you in taking your power back about respect is you have to demand it. You have to feel that you're worthy of it. that above all you will accept nothing less, that you are the parent or you're the teacher, and when you come into my house, that's right, you're coming into my house or my classroom, you will show me that respect. You also need to acknowledge that if you're in a family, you've got to do it together. You have to back each one up. So it doesn't matter what your family unit looks like, foster parents, grandparents, same sex, husband and wife, whatever. You must work together and you must demand it from your children at any time and every time. It must be a united approach. You have to also correct the behaviour as soon as you see it. If you don't, you're not reinforcing the behaviour that you demand to see. You then have to model that behaviour. So it's very easy to turn around and say, do as I say, not as I do. But it gives two messages to the children. So when you actually demand a consequence, demand respect, you have to first identify the rules on what respect looks like in your house. And I think the most common one is manners. So when you are giving something to somebody, they need to say thank you. They need to say, Mum, can I please? So the pleases and the thank yous. I'm a big one for pardon instead of what? Pardon. It saddens me tremendously how many kids do not say please and thank you. But if you actually have them in a classroom and one student says to you, can I please have? I always say, beautiful manners. Wonderful to see that. And then the children beside them will give the manners. It's exactly the same at home. Never let manners go without. Make sure they are in everything you do in that house and you model them. If in a time where you have got to a stage where there's been a massive argument because respect hasn't been seen, I implore you to give that child a timeout or a consequence. Why? Because you have to reinforce what is imperative to good behaviour. So how does that look? So say you have a child that has turned around and basically said no to your face. You need to demand a better response. I beg your pardon, what did you just say to me? Or you didn't talk to your mother that way, did you? You have to work as a team and you have to demand it. Did you just say no to me? Right, into your bedroom for 2 minutes. Consequence, you didn't say please or you answered me back, so the consequence is no, you can't have that. So a consequence or a timeout, really valuable. It doesn't have to be of any great length, but it has to be a consequence. At the end of that consequence, go into the child and say to them, do you know why you're in your room? Let them pick up the behaviour that they did not do correctly and ask them to acknowledge it. So, is that the way you think you should be speaking to me? That's interesting. If they say yes, there was nothing wrong with that, then you say, I think you need another 2 minutes in your room, and walk away. Don't let them come out. Walk away. Come back at the end of the 2 minutes. Now make sure when you're having these talks, especially if you come back a second time, you're in a very calm voice. That says that you're not going to continue to be angry with them, you just want them to own their behaviour. Once they've owned their behaviour and they actually say, yes, I didn't use manners or I didn't respect you, say, right, well, you realise that that is the minimum that I want to see from you. That you will say yes to me, you will say yes please, no thank you, pardon, you will not answer me back, you will not say no to me. I'm your mother and I expect that. You will show me respect. Get them to apologise. Say, so can I please have an apology for you for that behaviour? Most often than not, they will turn around and say, I'm really sorry, Mum, or I'm really sorry, Dad. And that's when you say, thank you, I really appreciate that. And then you're going to confirm the behaviour so that you're both clear. Okay, so from now on, I'm going to see yes please and no thank yous. Or I'm going to see that you're not going to answer me back. Or I'm going to see that next time I ask you to do something, you do not say no to me, you go and do it immediately. So you're confirming the behaviour and you're actually setting them up for success so that next time that if you send them to the room, you've already set up the structure. If your child can't apologise to you, again, stand strong, leave. I think you need another 2 minutes to think about that. Do not back down, because remember, you're in the demanding stage. Demand it until you get it. Even if they have to spend the whole weekend in their room, you're going to accept only the behaviour you want in your house because you're taking your power back. Okay, then the final stage and the most important stage is that the next time that they give you the yes please, and this takes a lot of active listening, the next time, and I guarantee it's normally within the next 2 hours, in fact it wouldn't be any longer than 24 hours, that they will actually give you this positive statement and they will reinforce that behaviour that you've told them that you want to see. Yes please, Mum. The minute they do it, and I mean the millisecond, thank you. I really appreciate you showing me that respect. It has to be a reward. It has to be a positive behaviour reward to model that behaviour from here on in. So you might have to say it a couple of times, thank you, I really appreciate you showing me so much respect. I can't tell you what that means to me. So reinforce it, and reinforce it with love and a smile. Make sure the behaviour that follows is far more rewarding. Okay, when we get that positive reinforcement, that's the one we crave, not the negative reinforcement. But if the only interaction or enforcement we're getting is negative, then we'll crave it. So make sure you finish always on a positive reinforcement back. Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you so much for showing me that respect. Okay, well, I hope that you have a better understanding of respect and that you might be able to use it. Okay, again, if you want to drop me a line, I've got the submit button. Love to hear from you. Thanks.